So I think today is going to be a very, very interesting session. We have Kiran ma'am and Kavri ma'am sharing, I think, some snippets from the classroom and some very interesting stuff. Yes, Ashwini, over to you, and maybe we can start now.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 59th episode of CC Friday. And we have two interesting topics today, Creative Contemplations, Thinking Beyond by Kiran Sharma ma'am, and Active Learning Strategies by Kakuli Mukherjee ma'am. Before we start our session, I'll read out the ground rules set for today's session. First one is be attentive throughout the session. Keep your camera on whenever possible. At the end of the session, you'll be asked a couple of questions through a feedback form. Credits will be given on the basis of the feedback form, which I'll be sharing at the end of the session. Asking questions will be appreciated using Q&A. You can ask anonymously or by your name. Wheel of names will be used to give a star and a wish. And the last one is this session is not compulsory for all. So if you are busy with something, you can mail down to me or message me if you are not able to join. Thank you so much. Over to you, Kritan. I guess we can start today's session.
Very good evening to one and all to this session of CC Friday. Let us all for a minute contemplate and thank Almighty for giving us the ability to think and act wisely. As we all know that the ultimate value of life depends upon awareness and power of contemplation rather than upon mere survival. Let us draw close to God and hear His voice by eliminating distraction and reducing anxiety. Thank you, God, for giving me the wisdom to think and not be blinded by the thoughts of others. Thank you for giving me the strength to act wisely and not be too quick to judge. What is it that breaks by just mentioning it? It is a 7-letter word. If you guess it, you sure are a wizard. Just a minute, please.
Silence.
Robin, this is very bad. Makes my... Oh, great. I think it was Ashwini ma'am, isn't it? I cannot teach anybody anything. I can only make them think. So one of the great responsibility for educator is to prepare students for the future in a complex and ever-changing world. As society evolves, there is a greater need to develop 21st century skills, and this is what our vision also speaks about. As experienced educators, we understand the need to adapt to new challenges and equip students with the tools they need to navigate life beyond the classroom. For a teacher to allow critical thinking, what do you think is more important? That he should be critical or think critically? I think critically. So for a teacher to allow critical thinking, he must allow space for imperfections. If we seek perfection, we are not letting the child think. The purpose should be to engage and involve the child in the learning process. So how to make the child think? That's the question. So actually we try so many strategies in our classrooms also, motivate our students, add nuances so that the thinking capacity of a child increases and he thinks beyond and out of the box. And I hope each one of us will agree to this statement, and we all are doing it across all the three campuses. So now, how we as teachers can think. This is an image that you can see on my screen, a hand, a few beautiful birds. I need you to write a caption on this. And my special request to the Sanskrit and the Hindi educators as well to write in the chat box the captions. Okay, Rahul sir says it's empathy. Rashmi ma'am says it's compassion, light. Caption can be more than one word. Kindness. Liberty is the first step of education. Very nice. Go beyond the limits. Peace of mind, the power of empathy, caring, life is beautiful. Belief, hope, free souls, compassion. My God, the chat box is swarming up with the responses. So good to see that. Adiba, to be free, okay, live and let live. Frivolous rebukes. Oh, this reminds me of Khushwant Singh. Udan, living for others, hope, share for care with care, umeedon ki kiran, service towards all living beings, hum pakshi unmukt gagan ke. Great, Krishna ma'am. Holding on. Nature and mankind, earth belongs to us. Very nice. So ecological balance is to be maintained actually. God's work, very nice. Let them fly. If they belong, they will be back. Manavta sarvo paridhan hai. Love in air. Let it happen. Very nice, Pratik sir. Priyanka Pawar ma'am says, be with nature. Okay, in the lap of nature, closer to nature. To live and let live, let it be free. Great. It's really pleasure to see so many of you responding to the caption. So we have the thinking capacity, and so we can bring about the change in our classrooms, and that we are trying to do as well. That's great. So what is thinking beyond? It is the analysis of available facts, evidences, observations before we come to a decision. I hope everybody will agree to it. So, anyone such an example that you can quote here? We as teachers have so many incidents in the day's time, and then we meet so many children. There can be certain, incidents that take place and that you would like to share here, where you have thought about the things before going or taking to a decision. And this is only possible when there is acceptance for change, because change can be the one, segment that brings about life in the classrooms. We have been bringing about changes in our learning strategies as well. And, with the growth mindset, when we have learned a lot. So how we are going to do it as a teacher? Any such incidents? Anyone? I'll look in the chat box if there is somebody who would like to respond. Or I'll bring about a twist in the session. कोई भी वो अध्यापक या अध्यापिकाएं जिनका नाम सर से शुरू होता है, इसका जवाब देंगे across all the three campuses. आप chat box में लिख सकते हैं, आप बता सकते हैं, yes, I am on the slideshow, so you can please unmute yourself and speak.
You can speak.
Ma'am, may I?
Oh,
Yes,
very
yes.
good. I can recognize your voice, Smriti. Yes.
Good evening, everybody. Last week, I got a call in the morning. A parent called me. She said, ma'am, I know my daughter is one of your favorite student, but I have a complaint. मैंने कहा, yes, ma'am, बताइए. Then she said that she's having a dual personality. I said, ma'am, she's in class 3. How can you say this? Then she said, nahin, ma'am, she behaves very nicely in the school. I know she's very good with all her friends, with all of you. She's a decent child, obedient child, but she is just opposite of her character in with us in at home. I said, why, ma'am? Then she said that she misbehaves with us like anything. She, मतलब बहुत गंदे से बात करती. She's very rude to us, and she said that she is asking us to consider her as an adult. मैं बड़ी हो गई हूँ. I'm a teenager. तो consider me as an adult and don't think that I'm a child. I said fine. So she told me about few incidences जो हो रहे हैं, and she said that मैम आज तो हद हो गई. उसके पापा बिना खाना खाए चले गए हैं सुबह, and she was very rude with us, especially with दादी and पापा. I went to the child. तो मैंने उस दिन उसकी असेंबली प्रेजेंटेशन भी था, माइक पर मैम के पास जाती है, तो मैंने उसको अच्छे से भेजा. एंड देन आई आस्क्ड हर इन द स्टाफ रूम. आई सेड, उन्नति, व्हाट हैपेंड टुडे? देन शी सेड, मैम नथिंग. मैंने कहा, बेटा कुछ हुआ होगा ना, आज मूड अच्छा नहीं लग रहा, मुझे ऐसा नहीं लगा कि यू आर वेरी हैप्पी टुडे. शी सेड, यस मैम, आई एम. फर्स्ट शी सेड, थैंक यू. आपको कैसे पता? मैंने कहा, नहीं, आज वो उन्नति मिसिंग है जो रोज मेरे पास आती है. एंड शी सेड, हाँ मैम, एवरीबडी स्कोल्ड्स मी एट होम. मैंने कहा, बेटा कुछ तो हुआ होगा, that you have done something wrong. She said, ma'am, everybody scolds me at home, nobody likes me. I said, what happened then? बहुत सारी चीजें, बातें हुई, बहुत सारी चीजें. Then she said that, ma'am, आज I am very sad, upset just because my father scolded me. Every time मम्मा डांटती थी, मुझे फर्क नहीं पड़ता था. Today father scolded me. तो then I connected with my real life incident, that what I have mistaken when I was a child. I have done something very bad कि मैं बता नहीं सकती अभी. और वो मेरे अंदर रह गया कि मैं दोबारा पापा से बात नहीं कर पाई. Because when I came,
you could relate it. Okay.
He has left us. और आज तक मेरे अंदर है कि काश वो एक दिन में बात कर लेती. तो मैंने उसको वही समझाया, बेटा प्लीज डोंट डू दिस, बहुत तरीके से समझाया. एंड देन आफ्टर 2-3 days उसके पापा का मेरे पास फोन आया. ही सेड दैट, मैम क्या किया आपने, उसमें चेंजेस आ रहे हैं. एंड अब वैसा तो मैं नहीं कह सकता कि 100% शी इज ओके, बट नाउ शी हैज स्टार्टेड रिस्पेक्टिंग अस, शी इज लिसनिंग टू अस. उसकी दादी के पास बैठ रही है, तो उसको बीच बीच में काउंसिल करते रहिएगा. तो मुझे लगा
so much, Smriti ma'am, claps for you. Wonderful. Because it was not, अगर मुझे लगता है ये इंसिडेंट 10 साल पहले होता तो शायद हम लोग कहते, why are you behaving so badly at home? Your parents had complained, isn't it? But the way you tackled the situation, it's really wonderful way. You put your thought process, you thought beyond, and then you address the situation, and it was actually a very wise way to handle it, tackle it. Wonderful, Smriti ma'am. Anybody else would like to share anything? Sir नाम के तो और भी लोग हैं. Okay, Pratik has written something here. 3 days back, I had a quote on self-love on my WhatsApp. This afternoon after school, a student came with a beautiful poem on self-love, expressing it so beautifully as if she really pondered on the very quote. I was so happy to read it. Okay, it was an experience. Any other thing where you had to take a decision or you had to talk to a child on a behavioral issue and you had to go under a thought process? It's not a hasty decision, not a hasty kind of a thing that you did with the child, as Smriti ma'am said. No one? Okay, yes, Smita ma'am. Sir नाम को इतने हल्के में कोई नहीं ले सकता.
Ma'am, एक incident है, like I was taking practicals in my class.
Yes.
And there was a girl, she is in 9th now. There was a girl, मैं उसका test लिए, तो the first test she has given not very good. I just asked her कि क्या हुआ, तुम seriously नहीं, you are a good girl, और आजकल टेस्ट में तुम्हारे मार्क्स अच्छे नहीं आ रहे हैं, like 2 tests I have taken और दोनों में टेस्ट में मार्क्स नहीं अच्छे आ रहे हैं, क्या बात है? मैम दे दिया ना, बस उसने ये, the way she answered me, मैम दे दिया ना, बस हो गया. So I thought you were not like that. Okay, at that time I didn't say anything. हमने बोला अच्छा ठीक है. And I came back to my staff room after taking the test. And I was sitting and talked to my colleague. कि ऐसी तो नहीं थी ये, शी वॉज अ ब्राइट स्टूडेंट, और 8th में आके ऐसा क्या हो गया कि ये इस तरह का बिहेवियर है उसका। तो फिर मुझे लगा कि नहीं, मुझे इससे बात करना चाहिए। लाइक लास्ट 3 years से मैं उसको पढ़ा रही थी, 5th से पढ़ा रही थी, आई वॉज द क्लास टीचर ऑल्सो। और मुझे लगा कि ऐसा क्या हो गया कि इतना ड्रास्टिक चेंज आ गया। देन आई कॉल्ड हर इन माई स्टाफ रूम एंड देयर वाज नो वन। सो आई कॉल्ड हर एंड आई मेड हर सिट बिसाइड मी, और मैंने बोला बस कि क्या हुआ बेटा, तुम ऐसे कभी जवाब नहीं देती थी, और मुझे तो कभी नहीं, मैं तो इतने सालों से मैं तुम्हें देख रही हूँ, यू हैव नेवर गिवन मी सच टाइप ऑफ रिप्लाई। देन शी स्टार्टेड क्राइंग, और वो इतना रोई, मैम मुझे मेरी बड़ी दीदी से कंपेयर किया जाता है, और मुझे हमेशा कहा जाता है कंपेयर करके कि तुम उसके जैसे कभी नहीं हो सकती। तो मुझे लगा अब मुझे कुछ करना ही नहीं है। और यू डोंट बिलीव मैम कि उसको उस दिन मैंने इतना कंसोल किया, और उसके बाद नेक्स्ट टेस्ट में शी स्कोर्ड फुल मार्क्स। और मेरे पास आके उसने बोला मैम यू आर हैप्पी नाउ, हमने बोला यस ऑफ कोर्स। तो और उसके बाद वो चेंजेस उसके बिहेवियर में भी मुझे दिखने लगा, जो रूड और जिस तरह की हो गई थी, बट चेंजेस वर देयर। So we have to,
an extra effort done for a child. That's great. This is what we as teachers are expected to do. Great. ऐसा तो नहीं है कि सर नाम के लोग नासिक के अलावा नागपुर में ना हो, पर ये ट्विस्ट थोड़ी देर बाद फिर आएगा. We'll proceed with the session. How does it improve teaching and learning? If you are thinking beyond, of course, it improves the thinking and learning process. It enhances language and presentation skills, helps express ideas, analyzes logical structure and text, improves comprehension abilities. Now, in the light of the languages, if we see, these all points are applicable. Otherwise as well. But beyond this, if you can think of some more points that you can add on here, you can please raise your hands. So how does it improve teaching and learning process? How it helps to enhance this activity in the class of teaching and learning? How the absorption, how the assimilation takes place? Anybody please? फिर मुझे कुछ बोलना ही होगा यहाँ पे, कोई और अक्षर लेना ही होगा. तो मैं अब लेती हूँ क, क्योंकि मुझे नहीं बोलना होगा, मैं ऑलरेडी बोल रही हूँ और काकुली मैम मेरे साथ हैं. क नाम के और भी लोग होंगे. क अक्षर से प्लीज रेज योर हैंड्स. Okay, Jyoti ma'am, thanks a lot for writing. Improves connectivity. Anyone else? Please don't be so miser in giving the replies. I am waiting for your retorts.
Makes the student as well as the teacher more expressive.
Very nice, Kalpana ma'am. Thanks for coming to for my refuge. K, yes. Kajal ma'am, make students confident. Helps in personal development. Great. And enhances the ability of thinking. Rahul sir. Anyone else? Confidence building. Prabjot ma'am. Very nice.
Ma'am, improve with strategies.
Very good. Gives room to all kinds of learners also. It helps in thinking logically after analyzing things. Improves observation skills. It's great to see teachers, are so prompt in replying. I'm really loving it. Then it's developing faith when by building trust. Ajay sir also. Kakuli ma'am, if you can read.
Development of overall mind and habit. Pratik sir has written. Ria ma'am has written improves observation skill. Alka ma'am has written, just a minute ma'am. Alka ma'am has written develops confidence, enhancing thinking skills. Smriti ma'am has written with love and affection. Sorry.
Okay, very
That's
nice. Just a minute, my dog is creating a lot of problem today. I'm really very sorry. Okay. That's great. There are some more things. Thinking beyond is important because it helps us make good decisions and understands the consequences of our actions and solves problems. Anything apart from that? If you think about, the 21st century skills, or you would like to add something more, keeping in mind the vision, जिनके नाम P से शुरू होते हों. मुझे लगता है कि अब मैं नाम ही ले लूं. Okay, yes. Prabjot ma'am, please.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Ma'am, as per whatever I think is as per 21st century skill, if I'm talking about, so critical thinking is very much important. And it should be developed in the students somehow, giving them the real life situations as we are doing specifically in our subject economics, to how to deal with the situations, how to take decisions in going out market or somewhere. And it also not only helps the students in the school scenario, rather it helps them to have the future making decisions as well. So beyond the school, critical thinking is also very much important. And
Very
somehow it tells them how to analyze the facts, what to believe and what not to believe. So all these things are under the critical thinking.
Very nice. Any other reply? Katri ma'am, please keep an eye on the chat box also. Yes, somebody is.
Yeah,
Please.
the same thing goes with me in economics when I teach the higher grades. I'm able to make them aware about how does the country does the planning for different programs.
Okay.
Example, in India program or Skill India. So how is country coming up? So with that textual content, they come to know the live word. How does the Prime Minister thinks about different programs? How he is working over it.
Great, great. That's wonderful. Anyone else?
Anusha ma'am wants to speak.
Yes, Anusha ma'am?
Yes,
Over to you.
ma'am. As we were talking about these critical thinking ability, so not only helps the student and the teacher, but also makes the topic very relevant, wherein the child gets to know ki what is he reading and how it can be applied to the real life situation. So not only to the textbook, but real life connect, and as well as the topics become very relevant to each and every child.
Okay, I can see some of the responses here also that provides innovative solutions to all types of real life problems. Mukti ma'am has raised hand. Yes, please, over to you.
Just keeping the vision in mind, you are developing the inner potential of the child so that the child is able to become is able to he becomes good, good for learning 21st century skills.
And
So I
to
mean,
raise the
I
world.
wanted to say that the vision, the vision keeping in mind, actually you are trying to, in fact, enhancing and taking out the inner potential of the child, enhancing the potential.
Great. So that he embraces the world, with full confidence. Then Tarun sir says it develops and problem solving and real life connect. A critical thinker will ask the right questions rather than just saying, yes, this is the right answer. They will analyze things and look at the reasons for them and all the alternatives. And we know that all the answers should be accepted. There is no right or wrong answer. Thinking beyond the box recognizes Thinking beyond the box recognizes stored knowledge in your brain that can be used to discover new things. Great. Let's move a little ahead now. How much easier is to be critical than to be correct? Thought to ponder over. Now, thinking beyond what is it, why is it important, and how does it improve teaching and learning? So as I said that there will be more twists here. So there are 3 questions for 3 campuses. The first question goes to Lava Nagpur. What do you think by critical thinking or thinking beyond or out of the box, CTQ? What is it? In the chat box, please, or you can unmute yourself. Yes, please.
Yes, good evening, ma'am. I think the critical thinking or thinking beyond, it gives rise to a new knowledge. When you discuss something like that with your students, Apart from your students, teacher also sometimes ends in understanding the new concept. Yes, it happens like this. And more transparent the concept become sometimes.
Thank you so much. The other campuses can also write in the chat box. It's not that they cannot participate. I just wanted to hear somebody from Lava Nagpur. Anybody else? Any other thought on this? What is it for our understanding? What critical thinking exactly is? Yes, please.
Teachers are writing in the chat box, ma'am.
Please read Kakuli, ma'am.
Millie ma'am writes, okay, it's going up fast. It is all about teaching tolerance and problem solving skills. Vishaka ma'am writes, thinking beyond means where students can involve them in the scenario by which they can connect themselves to the situation. Sri Vidya Nair ma'am writes, I think it helps child to analyze and think beyond. Sonal ma'am writes, when a child thinks out of the box and answers creatively. Anju Goenka ma'am writes, critical thinking helps to express and gain more knowledge. Sunanda ma'am writes, ideas that are creative and unusual.
That's great. Wonderful. Again, my chat box is swarming up with the answers. Now, the second question goes Nashik, DPS Nashik. Somebody please unmute and speak.
May I, ma'am?
Please.
When we say why it is important, I think it is the thing which challenges us. If we don't set the limits high, the high expectations from self and others, raising up the standards, whatever we are thinking in routine, it get changed when we are offering thinking beyond our critical thinking. It asks us to challenge our limits, thinking limits. And that's why
Great.
it's really
That's great. Anybody else? Okay, again, there's a message in the chat box. It is said, tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn. And CTQ actually involves them to the fullest. That's great, Priscilla ma'am. Vishakha ma'am says it is important to develop the thinking skills of the students. It encourages innovation and originality to instigate thinking differently. There are two okay, so that says there are two raised hands. I cannot see.
Ma'am and Devashruti ma'am.
Please unmute yourself.
Good evening, Kiran ma'am. May I go? Devashruti this side.
Please, yes, Devashruti.
Yeah, critical thinking for me, I believe that it's, I mean, it takes to the other level. I mean, it just takes whatever our limit is, it takes us to beyond that limit. And of course, differently thinking, unusual, out of the box, or even I can say creatively presenting something. The most innovative we know of some level, but we can bring us to even beyond that. That is what critical thinking of any situation.
That's great. You people are actually awesome. The third question for DPS Varanasi, how does it improve teaching and learning? Please unmute yourself and speak.
Ma'am, Priscilla or ma'am wants to speak. Sonal ma'am.
Okay, please. Yes, Sonal ma'am.
Ma'am, it develops critical thinking, develops a rational thinking, and it helps to take decisions, and it enables us to be better problem solvers, ma'am. So in this way, it helps in teaching learning process.
Very nice. Anybody else?
May I go again, ma'am? If you allow.
Yes, please.
How does it improve teaching and learning? It actually, we are doing it these days, so we are experiencing it is actually working in a great deal in our class. Students are coming up with their questions in a thinking differently. They are adding on, instead of we are standing and giving them all the lessons and everything, they are coming up with their versions, their opinion, their knowledge. They are sharing and adding on and thinking even beyond. So it's a great deal help. We don't have to do everything. It is
Very-
coming from them also. We are
Shahnaz,
empowering them.
it's a change that is obvious and also acknowledged. Even the parents are, eulogizing
Yes.
nowadays that
Yeah. And
the
students
teachers
are
are
empowered with this. Yes.
very true, very true.
Shahnaz ma'am, over to you.
Yes. Basically, I think it takes the children from the textbooks concepts. They connect the textbook concepts to real world issues. So by critically analyzing the case studies, they are also learning what they are reading in the textbooks.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Sonali Sinha ma'am also has raised her hand.
Okay, Shonali ma'am has, I think, forgotten to bring the hand down. Isn't it, Shonali ma'am?
No, ma'am, I wanted
Okay,
to.
please speak again. Yes.
Good evening to all. Critical thinking is a very important aspect in teaching and learning. Learning, I would say, especially, and it has been there since times immemorial. The term has come into the teaching field now. We see this example, especially in Newton. Newton, he thought that why on earth the apple fell on his head. It could have gone up to the sky. So this is critical thinking, where children reason, they think and think beyond, out of the box, and try to reason things and come to conclusions. And this helps in development of scientific thinking, develops scientific temperament, and obviously at the end of the day, it will also help in development of the society.
Okay.
Thank you.
A few more hands. Kakuli ma'am?
Yeah, Vibhuti ma'am and Deepak sir.
Yes, please, Vibhuti ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening to all. Everyone has spoken a lot about how it is helpful to the children. I would like to talk about how it is helpful to us as teachers. When we think critically, what worked well, what didn't go well, what we planned, and did we actually, were we able to actually receive what we wanted the output to be? And if not, then what else do we need to do? We really get to know a lot about the way we need to go ahead and teach or reteach things. So I think it helps teachers as well, not just the students.
So this is what adds the nuances to the classroom, when we reflect upon and
Our
then
own,
critically
yes.
think and bring about the changes.
Yes.
Very true.
Thank,
Very true.
thank you, ma'am.
Kiran ma'am.
Hanji sir.
Kiran ma'am, I think we have another presentation, so I think we should stick to our time.
Sure, sir.
Too many sharings, of course, everybody would want to share.
Yes, yes.
And therefore, I think you need to move beyond, ma'am.
Okay. I would like Ratna ma'am to quickly read this, please, for me and for others as well.
Sure, ma'am. Reason of the why a boy and a girl were playing together. The boy had a collection of marbles and the girl some sweets. He told the girl that he will give her all the marbles in exchange for her sweets. She agreed. The boy kept the biggest and the most beautiful marble aside and gave the rest to her, whereas she gave him all the sweets that she had promised. That night the girl slept peacefully, but the boy could not. Why do you think the boy could not sleep?
Yes. Who is the one who has raised hand? Okay, Anamika ma'am, if you are there. Kakuli ma'am, please just keep a trace there.
Yeah, ma'am. Just a minute.
Anybody
Sonal
can
ma'am
unmute
has
and
raised. Sonal Sharma
Ma'am,
ma'am had
because
raised.
he did not keep up the pact. The boy did not keep up the pact, ma'am. He said he'll give all the marbles, but the girls did it, but the boy did not. So that guilt was there.
Okay. Maybe the guilt. Any other thought on this? Yes, please.
Shahnaz ma'am.
Yes, I think the boy must be thinking that the girl has lost trust. Next time I can't fool her. So maybe it is a trust issue.
Okay. Any other thought on it? Siddharth sir, would you like to give your view on this?
So
I
that's
think eating a lot of sweets made the stomach very heavy and couldn't sleep.
Sir is not an ardent lover of sweets, it's for sure. Any other answer? All our responses
Yeah,
are fine. Yes.
Yeah, I think the boy must be thinking what he will do with those beautiful marbles he has kept aside. And
Okay,
when
maybe-
is he going to eat the sweets?
Maybe he thinks that I have kept one. There can be a chance that girl is also keeping one chocolate for herself.
Yes, most
Doesn't it?
probably. It's there
I
is
think
equal
now
chance.
he might be missing his marbles which he gave. He might be repenting why he gave those marbles.
Okay. Thank you so much. It's
Then,
just
ma'am,
a
you
very
have
short.
another 5 to 7 minutes to wind up, please.
Yes, sir.
Kiran, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Now, this was thinking beyond, and he did good for himself and also for the other people who are going to pass through that way. Now, this is the last segment here. Look at the picture. Kakali ma'am will share the link in the chat box. And it is subject specific. You have to make one CTQ after seeing this picture related to your own subjects. The link will be there. You can even do it later as we have paucity of time. We'll be getting back to it. I think, sir, it will be okay. Mukesh, sir?
Yeah, I think it's okay. It's okay.
I guess that's too
Fine,
carefully
fine.
we will have to.
So because you will
Would you
also
like
take
to
all
wind
the
up?
time, but I want each one of you to write your response there. So everybody was, a critical thinker, and you all have got a badge. Thank you so much. Now over to Kakali ma'am to have a whiff of the classroom teaching, where we'll get to know about two strategies mainly, and that is gamification and the newspaper. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Kiran ma'am. Good evening, one and all present here. I would like to request Aditi ma'am to present it. All right. So I'm going to just show you that how we are catering to gamification and newspaper activity in the classroom scenario and with all the subjects, because majorly we used to do it for maths. Definitely I was there in maths and I'm doing in maths rather. So but you will find that how other subject teachers are also including gamification and newspaper active learning strategy in the classroom. So first of all, Aditi ma'am, yes, thank you. Gamification, everyone knows that it comprises of indoor and outdoor games, but few benefits are there which I would like to bring it to your knowledge. Overall development is there, definitely. Certain categories of multiple intelligence are covered through gamification for the overall development of the child. The significance of gamification is through the earning of points and rewards. It is very important, educators, that we include points and rewards for gamification. To reach the next level of round, students are motivated through the points actually. That's why that is important. It also helps the students to set their own goals to reach the target in specified time. Students take onus of their own responsibility and make decisions and design it accordingly. So right now ma'am has told about critical thinking and so on. So students keep doing all, every time they keep on thinking beyond, and they find the strategy, easy way, different pathways to reach the solution. Next slide, please. Now I will show you a Hindi recap class where the teacher is taking a revision of a chapter through gamification. Of the same word, she has used 4 different spellings, out of which 3 are correct, 3 are incorrect, and 1 is correct. So over to Aditi ma'am, and the rubrics and the students. Yeah. Full screen, ma'am. Aditi ma'am, full screen. Yeah, thank you.
हो सकता है ये हम लोगों ने पाठ पढ़ लिया है, पुस्तक अभ्यास कर लिया है, शब्द लेखन, वाक्य लेखन कर लिया है, प्रश्नोत्तर कर लिए, तो अब इस गतिविधि के माध्यम से हम इस खेल के माध्यम से इस पाठ को दोहराएंगे, ठीक है? Please clap for this.
Okay, you can see here that teacher is using the left side board for writing the LOs, and she's taking the LOs from these students, and she's using the dart board, and the dart board is actually not used as it is we use in mathematics with the number, but she has pasted few words on that dart board, and children were asked to throw the darts on that. So ma'am, can you play the second one?
Is it right or wrong?
Just a minute. All right. So here the teacher was using dart and the children were asked to come. They were sitting in the groups, and from that groups they were only deciding that who is going to go and throw the dart. So the rubrics was also shared. Now you can see very closely how it is done, because it was not shown properly through camera. So you can see there are 3 spelling errors and 1 correct. So this is how the dart game was planned for them, with the rubrics, of course, and the points were there. Then next slide, ma'am. Okay, you can see here the dart game for maths, it is written. It was done for multiplication. So the rubric was a little complicated, but children were explained very well, because there was section of different colors. Yellow, black, and red sections were there, and the teacher has given different points for that zone, and children were throwing the dart, and surely that with that number, the points which were given, the teacher was asking to multiply another numeral. So quickly they were doing on the board. You can see below, it is already shown, and the points were marked. So this is how the maths dart game was going on. Then you can see Uno card activity is also there, where Uno cards were given and children were asked to quickly, within a given time span, to create a time in different ways, as many ways as they know or they would like to present. They were doing in pairs, and then again this pair was joining with the another pair immediately and finding the duration between their time. I mean, both the pairs were finding it between them. Now the next one, ma'am. Okay, here you can see in English class, they are using snake and ladder. So how it has been done, I would like to request Kalpana ma'am to explain it nicely. Kalpana ma'am, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Can you just
The snake and ladder game was planned for the topic common noun and proper noun. We asked the children to bring the snake and ladder kit, and we prepared an instruction, or you can say according to the numbers, we framed few questions. For question number 1, like we gave example of a common noun. Here is the sheet. For question number 7, we move to number 8, and there is some question on number 8. So the children were settled in the group, 6 in a group, where one was set as a leader, the other was a note maker, and the rest 4 children were playing the game. And whatever the number they were there, whatever the instruction was given according to the number, they had to answer that. And every group had one winner in the end. So this was the way we conducted snake and ladder for common nouns and proper nouns in English. Thank you.
Thank you, Kalpana ma'am. You all can see that when you play snake and ladder, if you are in the number 2, so number 2 till a rubric is written. What is it written? I think common noun, example of common noun. So the child has to speak example of common noun and then pass it on the dais to the next person. So this is how we did it. Ma'am, can you show the video?
Yes, common nouns and proper nouns. And I will be making a leader as well as a note maker for that particular group. Okay, note taker. Now, what is the responsibility of the leader? Can you see the rubrics here? Yes. Yes. The players who are going to play the game, those players will throw the dice, play as we usually used to play the snake and ladder game. Now, if a person falls on any of the number given on the board, the question given in this rubrics will be answered by that particular person. So the role of the leader is to go through the rubrics. The leader will ask the question, okay? And the role of the note maker of that group is to write down the points for all the 4 members who are playing the game, okay? And there will be a specific time limit for you. So once I distribute the rubrics, once you are all ready, you have set to play the game, I will start the timer and you have to finish your game within that time limit. Is that clear? Yes, Janish.
Okay, so take this rubrics. Take this rubrics. So Gopesh is the leader. Gopesh will ask the questions in your group, and Ipshita will write the marks for the player, that is Janish, as Izan. Understood? Hema. Understood? You have to follow both the rules. The rule which is there on snake and ladder, as well as the questions which is there on the rubrics. Okay? Yes or no? So children, be quick as the timer is running there. 3 minutes are left.
So this is how they did it in English. Then you can see even after this sports. Next one, outdoor game with the help of sports teacher. But then we have also made the rubrics for it. It is for maths, and we wanted to know the time lapse, starting time, ending time, and duration from the children. So this was the concept building where the teachers have taken them to the hall, and with the help of sports teachers, all the equipments were there, and the children were doing it. Ma'am, just play for a for. You might have noticed that sports teachers were calculating, and they were having the timers. So this is how we engaged the children. Next slide, ma'am. Now, in front of you, there are some indigenous games that are on the screen. Okay, connect a few out of them with the subject you teach, and relate the topics which you can bring it on. So I think till class 7th, 8th, we can definitely go for few out of these, and till 5 definitely for all the topics. So you can relate and give it on the chat box. Anyone who can relate the first one, Tippy Tippy Top we used to play. Apart from Kalpana, if anyone can give. Other teachers. Tippy Tippy Top with any of the topic. Okay, tug of war, force and pressure chapter. Very good, Sunanda ma'am. Yeah. Anyone who can think creatively. Okay, kinds of adjectives, tippy tippy top. Okay, I would like Amreen ma'am to brief it out. How?
Ma'am, we can write a sentence or an exercise can be given, and the inside columns could have the kinds of adjectives written inside it.
Okay.
And after reading out the sentence, we can just for fun, we can play it out, and 4 options will be given. They will choose the right one.
But remember, gamification should have rewards. So points or rewards. So you need to think about that also. Okay.
Okay. Yes. For sure.
Okay, Poshampa, PA for biology. Okay, Dipti ma'am writes. Fine. Tippy Tippy Top for different, let me read. Tippy Tippy Top for different aspects of a story or poem, characters, climax, protagonist. I cannot read out. Ma'am, can you please read it? It is going up.
Should I read it for you, Kakuli?
Yeah, sir.
Okay, Devashruti says noun and adjectives, tippy
Yeah,
tippy top, hopscotch before and after numbers, grade 1 to 10 numbers.
Yes, sir.
Sejal says tippy tippy top for numbers, values numbers. And Vinita Mishra also says balancing of equations, hopscotch.
Very nice, very nice.
That's
Very
an interesting one,
creatively.
Vinita. That's wonderful.
Very creatively, you people are thinking. I mean,
I wish to see Vinita use this and show it to us.
okay. So there are n number
Sure,
of games you will be able to connect once you are, I mean, you think very differently, creatively. Okay, coming to the next strategy, I will not take much time because already we are, I mean, lagging. So now newspaper activity. You all know how beneficial the newspapers are and how we can relate. So making learning fun for students, surely. And newspapers are extremely flexible and adaptable to all curriculum areas and grade levels. So it can be done till class 12, definitely. Bridge the gap between the classroom and the real life world. Build good reading habits that will last a lifetime. Can be cut, marked, clipped, pasted, filed, recycled, anything you can do out of the newspaper. Give everyone something to read. The interest part of the children, whatever they want to, they can read and find out. News, sports, weather, editorial, and comics are a cost-effective way to educate. Definitely, you know that it is very easy to get and it doesn't have much cost. Contain practical vocabulary and the best models of clear, concise writing. So this is what the newspaper benefits are. Apart from that, you have many more which will come inside your mind when you are, I mean, planning for the activity. Next slide, ma'am. This is a newspaper activity which has been given by a maths teacher for the students to collect the data of 7 days and bring those data and I mean present it in form of data handling and pictograph. Ma'am, can you play?
So how many of us have newspapers at home? Many. Okay. Hands down. Now what we have to do with the newspaper, you are going to collect the data, the information regarding the temperature. Okay, you are going to see the newspaper from the past week. And you can choose for any 5 days from the past week. Collect the data in your math notebook and come along tomorrow so that you can start preparing the pictograph for the next day. Is it okay?
Okay. Now you can see, ma'am, next one. How Hindi teacher has used.
मुझे जानना चाहिए सार्थक शब्द निरर्थक शब्द आपने जो भी पाठ पढ़ा है उसको आप अपने दैनिक जीवन में कैसे चरितार्थ करेंगे, उसके लिए हम लोग आज एक गतिविधि करेंगे। वो गतिविधि क्या होगी? समाचार पत्रों में हम आपको समाचार पत्र देंगे और समाचार पत्र में आपको संज्ञा, लिंग और वचन इसको अलग अलग करना है। एक पैराग्राफ में आपको 5 मिनट का समय दिया जाएगा। 5 मिनट के समय में आपको संज्ञा को आपको सर्किल करना है, लिंग को अंडरलाइन करना है और वचन को स्क्वायर करना है। क्लियर है? अच्छी तरीके से समझ में आया? रोला बनाएंगे, संज्ञा पर लिंग को रेखांकित करेंगे और वचन को चौकोर करेंगे। आपके पास स्केच पेन है? और उसको करने के बाद आप अपने समूह के साथ, ग्रुप के साथ आपको 5
Yeah, ma'am. It can be used for many activities. I think it's a very good medium of teaching. So children learn a lot out of it. Yeah.
इन्होंने अपने ग्रुप में इन्होंने जो पैराग्राफ पढ़ा उसमें से कुछ इन्होंने संज्ञा लेख और वचन प्रेजेंट करिए। सबसे पहले हमने समाचार पत्र में से कुछ संज्ञा लेख वचन निकाले। तो संज्ञा है एक जिले का नाम चुवाड़ी, एक बच्चे का नाम राम, उसका दोस्त आदित्य, भाई, माँ, बच्चा और लिंग हमारी दोस्त अमला। लिंग है दादा, दादी, आदित्य, पिता, राम, बच्चन को हमारे मित्र अध्यात्म
Last segment of this video. Just see how children have thought and they have given the answer in different manner.
लोगों शब्द जो है वचन में आपने लिखा है वह संज्ञा और लिंग में से किसी एक और श्रेणी में आएगा। कौन सी श्रेणी में आएगा? कौन सी श्रेणी में आएगा? बहुवचन है, लोगों जाति या समुदाय का नाम है। संज्ञा कौन सी संज्ञा? एक्सीलेंट, बहुत अच्छा।
The child was able to discover that that word will come in two categories. So that was very good, very well, I mean, planned, and very well the children have discussed and come up with that answer. Okay, ma'am, next one. This is the reflection what the teacher has taken from the students.
वचन शब्दों को छांटना सीखा, पहचानना सीखा, उनका प्रयोग करना सीखा। Other, anybody else also want to give answer? Yes. हमने वचन, लिंग और संज्ञा के बारे में हमने उसका रिवीजन किया, हमने अच्छे से। Yes, संज्ञा इन सारे विषयों के सारे जो हमारे जो अध्याय हैं उनकी हमारी पुनरावृत्ति हुई। संज्ञा, लिंग और वचन को पहचानना सीखा।
Ma'am, please stop. Let's go to the next part.
संज्ञा, लिंग और वचन
Next slide, ma'am. Okay, this is English. We'll not play the video because it is consuming time. So you can see for English, the articles they have used, the teachers have used for articles. So you can see this picture where the star is there. Okay, it's a like 2 or 3, any article, whatever they find it, 2 or 3 maximum. They have written the sentences out of it and why it is used, where, what was the reason of using. So this is how they have cut the paper clipping, and along with that they have written the reason. This was also pair group and they have done in pairs, pair work. So ma'am, next one. Don't play the video. Okay, thank you so much. Over to Siddharth sir now because we are already late, so I won't be taking much time. Thank you, sir. Thank you all.
Thank you, Kakuli ma'am, Kiran ma'am. I think both the presentations were really wonderful, and there was a lot of learning for all of us today. I think the games are a really interesting way for children to learn, and it will be very interesting for them. Really like the use of Uno cards, the snakes and ladders, the use of newspapers as well. And also, the way Kiran ma'am used some pictures and other things to help us think beyond. I think that's a really powerful way in the classroom. But I would, like to just share a couple of things. I will not take a lot of time. Just a couple of things I would like to share, just so that there's no confusion. It's really important, even if we play a lot of games in the classroom, it's really important that each and every child is active in that process, right? So it's really important. It's not, if maybe say two children are playing that game, but the others are not really actively involved. So it's really important that we devise a mechanism that the others are also actively involved, right, in while playing that game. I think that is where the power of games would be really harnessed well. I think that is something that I would like to add. But I think today the snakes and ladders were a really nice way. The Uno cards, I think they would activate each and every learner. The hurdles, I think, because of the excitement that it would bring in, it would really activate every learner. And maybe like I think Kakuli ma'am said, that if we've got the starting time and the ending time, and that's shouted out loud, and the children have a response card in front of them, and they are immediately calculating the time difference, I think all of them are really actively involved in that process. So there are two questions in the Q&A. We will not take them because of the time, but I'm sure next time we will be able to take up questions. Mukesh sir, I can see you if you want to share anything. Pushpi ma'am, if you're there, Anupama ma'am, if you would like to share anything.
Well, I don't want to share much, but as you know, since we are experienced, तो ज्ञान कुछ निकल ही आता है. Newspaper in education is a very formal way of conducting your newspaper activity. So if you can Google NIE, this was a movement that we started about 30 years ago in Delhi along with the Times of India. And fortunately or unfortunately, should I say, I was a part of that movement when we started it at Sardar Patel Vidyalaya. So maybe, you can look at that. Very beautiful curriculum in NIE. We could, look at that as a tool in case, we subscribe, every child subscribes to a newspaper. That could also come to school and you can use it as a resource. And the kind of usages for the newspaper is just limited by your imagination.
Anupama ma'am, Pushpi ma'am, would you like to share anything? I think there's a program at Nasik, and that's why. Anupama ma'am, are you there? All right. So thank you everybody for joining in. Thank you Kiran ma'am for the wonderful presentation and making all of us think. Thank you Kakuli ma'am for giving us a peep into your classroom and how all of us are doing various games at DPS Varanasi. I think that was very interesting and it intrigued everybody. Like the tip top. I think I don't know the name. Tip top. What? Tippy top. Okay. And I think that would really intrigue everybody to use, especially I think what Vinita ma'am said, that how to use the hopscotch in grade 9th and 10th chemistry. I think that will really get the children excited. And yeah, so there's a feedback form in the comments. Please fill it. And thank you for joining in for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.